Okay, so again, starting from the drive, this is where you always want to begin when you're creating a new slide, new Google Doc, new Google Form, whatever you're creating. You always want to come to your drive and then go to the folder where you want that particular file to be in. All right, so I click New. This time we're going to talk about Google Slides. I would always do from blank presentation unless you already have a template created, and we'll talk about templates maybe in the level 2. But we'll do blank presentation. It's always going to ask me create and share because I've shared my folder with someone. Alright, so this is testing the slides. Generally this is how you do an introduction, whatever it's about, and you're to buy. Okay, we'll go ahead and talk about, here's your themes on the side, so you can be thematic with it. So, maybe this is the theme I want to use, maybe I want to use this theme. It really doesn't matter. All right, so there's my theme. So from here, we can actually go ahead and start inserting things. So I can actually insert an image. That's one thing I can do. It's no different than what you did in the Google Docs presentation. What's different is now I can actually insert a diagram and a video and word art, and I'll talk about some of these other things. So if I insert a diagram, there's actually some diagrams already made, so I'm actually going to insert a new slide. So insert new slide, and this is the general format. I can change this layout if I wanted to, so I can come here and I can change the layout. So maybe this one needs to be more like this, or maybe it needs to be more like this. So it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to delete something, you just click right click on it, and you can cut it out, or you can, when you click on it, you can actually hit the delete key, and it'll take it away. So going back to the diagram, so I clicked insert again and I clicked diagram, and it brought up this over here. So I can actually add this to the diagram, and I can choose the number of levels. So 1, 2, 3 levels, or maybe mine needs 4 depending on what it is, and then I just click on it and it throws it in there. So I actually need to get rid of this. I'm going to click delete, and now I can actually start editing this. So maybe this isn't the information I want. Maybe I want a whole bunch of information in here. You'll notice that it doesn't spread out for you. So what you'll have to do, if you put in a lot of information, you'll need to actually resize this so that you can get all your information in. So that's what's different is a diagram. You can add a diagram. So I'm going to insert a new slide. So to do that, it is Control M, and it inserts a new slide. I can change layout to be just anything that I really want it to be. Depending on what I'm trying to do. So it just really depends on what you're trying to do. So I'm going to insert a blank, completely blank, and here I'm going to actually this time insert some word art. So I'm going to start typing, and then when I'm done, I just click out of it and it puts it here. I can format this afterwards, so I can actually do some like a drop shadow if I want to. And I can actually change things with that. What color is my drop shadow? Maybe I want it to be pink. Maybe I want it to be like a green color. It really depends on what you want, and I can actually change how transparent the drop shadow is. I can change the angle, and I can actually change the distance. So that's how you can get kind of like that word art there, so you can make some changes there to your word art. Adding a new slide. I can insert a line. So I'm actually going to go to this one. So if I insert, maybe I'm wanting to insert a arrow. I want to insert directly here. I can actually attach it to sections of this area, and then I can actually format this itself. I can actually add a drop shadow to it if I want to. So maybe I want a shadow of that arrow to make it a little more three-dimensional. You can also change where does it start. You can change the formatting here. You can make it larger if you want to, if you're trying to do like a call out, and when you can move it around. Maybe you want it to kind of point this direction to make a call out here. So that's what you can do there. And then we can actually insert videos. So when you click insert video, it's going to naturally be searching YouTube, but you can actually paste the YouTube URL here, or you can just search within inside of your drive. So if I search YouTube specifically, I can actually, pick a video from here. I can select it, and it's going to insert automatically. And again, I can actually move that around. I can resize it, just whatever size I want it to be. But in most cases, since it is a video, you're going to want it to take up the whole screen. So there's that. That's how you insert video. Moving on, I can also insert a table just as before, and I can insert shapes. Basic equation things, arrows, other things. I can also change my background color. So if I click there, I can actually change the background color. I can actually choose an image. So maybe I want to, go to my Google Drive. Maybe there's some images that I want to use specifically. So I can navigate, I can find those, I can select those in my drive, and I can click done. Once you're, here, this can now be my background slide if I want it to be. You can change the theme again. You can change some transition controls and other things. But again, that's how you change the background. You can actually add this to the theme itself if you wanted to, and it will become part of your layout. All right, so I add another slide. You can add text if you want to and start typing. If you just want text in a certain location, you can insert an image again just as before. You can search the web. So if I search, and I can insert directly from the web, and I can add some other text. And I click Explore, and what I like to do the Explore feature for is this. If I click Explore, it actually gives me some options to change the look of this slideshow, so that's a little bit better and a little bit neater. So a lot of different things that you can actually do with that. So the Explore feature is great in this. It can do a lot of things for you. Alright, so another thing that you can do, you can add transitions. So maybe I want to add transition to the slide itself, so slide transition. So maybe I want it to fade, or and how fast do I want it to fade. I can actually apply that to all slides, so all of them are going to fade. So that's a nice feature, if you don't want to be real different each time. You can also do it to objects. So if I click here, I can select that object, and I can say fade in on click, or I can fade in after previous or with previous. There's a lot of different options you can do there. So fade in on click. I continue on. I can say, I can select this object, so just this one. So all these others would be sitting there, and I can say fade in on click, and I can do by paragraph, which is pretty neat if you want paragraphs to kind of come across. So some different things you can do. So I can select the object, animate. Again, I can fade in. I can fly in from the top. You can actually click play just to kind of see what it's going to look like. And so when I click, it's going to show what happens. So I can click stop. All right. If you want to present this, you just click present, and it presents from wherever you are at. And as you're presenting, you can navigate just through here like this. And so I can actually click, and it will navigate through. As I click, things will fade in. And click, and you'll see all the transitions. And again, there's the video, and then there's that at the end. When you get to the end, you don't just click next to get out. You actually have to come down here and click exit to get out of the slideshow itself. Okay. So that's the basics of everything. Again, you want to always title it, and what's nice is after you add a title here, as soon as you click in there, it's going to add a title there. You can actually, as we talked about before in the Google Drive presentation, you can actually star it right here, and that will show up in your Google Drive as a starred piece. And again, something to remember is just the Explore feature. Anytime you're on something, it will give you some options. So this one doesn't have options. If I come here, this one doesn't have options. This one doesn't. But this one does, so it has two options for me. So sometimes it has options and sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on what you put on your slide, whether or not it's going to give you some options. the comments and the share are exactly the same as what you would do in Google Docs. So I'm not going to go over that again because it's the exact same thing. If you click comments, you can add comments to particular things. If you click share, those same exact share features are the same as in Google Docs. You can add speaker notes here. So if I want to add some notes to myself to do, I can do that. Another thing is you can do presenter view, which is pretty neat. If I click on presenter view, it will give this as an audience as a Q&A, and then I can actually look at my speaker notes and my audience tools. So what would happen is the actual presentation would be here on this screen, and then on the other screen I would have this here going on. And so this is audience. So I could start a new thing. And so to actually get the audience involved, if I click start new, I can say anyone can do talk to me on here. And I can actually view my speaker notes on one screen while presenting on the other. So to do that, I bring this up, and now they can ask a question. They could type this in and they could ask a question of me. And what I would actually get is the other screen here. So as they ask questions, they would actually populate here, and I could actually have my speaker notes on this side if there's something specific I wanted to say. And as I navigate here, it would naturally navigate automatically on their screen. The Q&A, I can click that also just to pop that up. I can click my notes real quick if I wanted to look at my speaker notes. I can also just do a pointer in general and point to things, and then I can, again, exit out. Okay, and that's pretty much everything with Google Slides. Again, you can, same as before, you can insert images just like you can in Docs. You can insert charts the same way just like in Docs, so I'm not going to go over the specifics of that because the Google Docs presentation went over that in detail. So that's everything. If you have questions, again, ask.